Everyone, here's part 16 to 17. Tig- Tiger to When most ancient animals become domesticated, humans held the wrens, retained cows for their milk and meat, sheep for their wool, and horses to ride and pull. But we don't keep cats around to feed us or keep us warm. In fact, most house kitties seem to think we're around to serve them. So how did felines go from wild to mild? Experts say that domestication had to have been the cat's idea. Wildcats began to live near human settlements so they could hunt the rodents that feasted on the food stores that worked out well for the humans. But as anyone who shares their home with a cat would agree, humans probably didn't coach these cats into performing pest control service. The cats moved in because they like the easy life. Domestic dogs are descendants from the wolf ancestors. Our canine buddies' DNA is different from that of their wild ancestors by only about one, but dogs with their floppy ears, wagging tails, and splotchy coats look very different from their wild cousins. It's not the same for cats. Today's house kitties have barely changed in appearance since they lived in the wilderness thousands of years ago. If you spy an African wildcat in the forest alongside with a domestic cat for an adventure, you'd have hard time telling the two apart. But hold out the treat for a house cat and you might make a new friend who will purr and rub its face against your hand. Do you the same with a wild cat and you might end up as a treat? So what's the difference between Labcat, Mr. Whiskers, and his wild cousins? It's all in the genes. Taming tigers. When wild cats started coming into villages to hunt rodents as early as 12,000 years ago, they were suddenly closer to humans than they ever had been before because cats hunt alone. They're antisocial by nature, but just like humans, every cat is different. So some of the domestic cat's ancestors were a little less Scottish around people than others. Perhaps these cats started hanging around campfires looking for scraps, and maybe one of one of them finally ventured close enough to take a sliver of meat that a human held out for it. Those friendlier cats would have gotten more food scraps. The extra food would have made them more likely to survive and have kittens. They would have passed their genes for a gentle temperament along to their babies who would have grown up and continue to stick around humans as these friendly cats cross with each other and had more friendly kittens. The traits for curiosity and affectionate toward people would have gun stronger. Eventually, this group of felines evolved very different personalities from wild felines. They were the domesticated cats. It wasn't just the genes for the personality that changed as cats become domesticated. Through many wild cats and domestic cats look very similar. From outside, there are a few differences. Wild cats have slightly larger brains than their domestic cousins. They are also hypercarnivores. They can eat only meat. House cats, in contrast, have adapted to digest a small amount of plant material, likely because ancient humans' meal scraps would have included some plants. To make this possible, their intestines are slightly longer. Those changes happen over many generations as domesticated cats' ancestors picked through humans' leftovers. Still, there are some modern cat breeds that have retained some wildcat genes, like the Chaucy, page 66, which doesn't have the genetic adaptations that allow it to eat plants. Chaucy owners to have to feed these kitties special all protein diets. Scientists haven't yet discovered all of the genetic changes that turned a wild cat into the kind that plays the piano in internet videos, but what they do now is that while people tame other animals to help us survive, we became companions with cats just because we liked each other's company.